Hey everyone. So wanted to share something that happened to me last Friday, which just happened to be Friday the 13th. I was doing my usual prep on the RV because we were leaving that day for a camping trip. I had taken a few hours off work to get an early jump on things before my husband got home. Now, typically, I wait to unhook my power cord until the very last minute because I like the AC to be running, especially if I'm loading things up inside. But since that part of the prep was done, I thought I would go ahead and get that unhooked and stowed and maybe save us a little time so that when my husband got home, we could hit the road a bit earlier. So I unplugged the cord and the surge protector, wrapped up the cord, and I put it in its bag. And then I picked up the surge protector and I heard something, the unmistakable swish of water. I thought I had to be imagining things. So I gave it another shake. And sure enough, water inside. I turned it so that the receptacle was facing down and gave it another shake, and rusty water just poured out of that thing. So there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not sure exactly where to start. But I guess the first thing I want to tell you guys is that last year we had a dedicated 30 amp line installed for our trailer. It's just outside our garage. It has its own breaker box, which is inside the garage, and that's where the on off switch is. So we did everything right there. Um, I thought that I purchased the right surge protector, but maybe not. What I settled on after we put the deposit on the RV and before we even brought it home, I did my research. I looked on every forum that I can think of, every group I could think of on social media, um, also checking YouTube videos. And it is a popular model that has been featured a lot actually in YouTube videos. Now, it's certainly not the most expensive one by far, but it also was not the cheapest one out there. I paid almost $60 for it. Plus, it gets over 4.5 stars on Amazon with over 4,000 reviews. So it seems like it's got a good reputation. Here's a look at the one I got. In addition to being super easy to understand whether or not the power coming in is okay to plug into, it also claimed to be waterproof. When I was plugged in at my home hookup, the plastic shield that you're seeing in the image was closed, completely encompassing the plug outlet area. But obviously, it failed, and somehow it let water in. Full disclosure, we did have a storm that came through the week prior with torrential rains, and I'm betting that is where the water came from. But shouldn't something that is going to be used at campsites in all kinds of weather be able to keep the rainwater out? And it wasn't as if it was in a puddle or anything. My outlet is high enough up off the ground that no part of the surge protector touches. So let's have a look at my hookup so you can see where I was plugged in. All right, this is my dedicated 30 amp outlet that I had installed for our RV. It's just on the outside of our garage. On the inside of the garage, it has its own breaker box with an on-off switch. So you can see the top of this is the way that it's designed. It is meant to keep water out, even though down here at the bottom, it is not completely shut. It still provides enough shelter from rain and everything that there's no danger of water getting inside this box. So this is what it looks like on the inside. And this is my new surge protector, which I'll talk about in a minute why I chose this one in particular. But the one that was here before, it hung down probably about close to this far, maybe a little bit shorter, and it had that clear plastic case that went over the front of it, which was designed to protect the outlet and the plug from any rain. Well, obviously that did not work. You can also see, it's kind of hard to see because it has this giant plant under it, but it's about, even from this point, I want to say it's probably about 3.5 feet off the ground, the outlet itself. So this was hanging maybe about 2 feet to 18 inches off the ground. The surge protector that I had before, it was not in a puddle, it was not under a rain spout. There was nothing that I can think of that would have caused water to get in it as far as misuse goes. I was doing everything the right way. Really, it was no different than if you would be at a campsite. So that's what's scary about all of this. Now, another thing that was scary about this is that it had not flipped the breaker. The water somehow made its way inside the outlet and settled into an area where the water wasn't coming into contact with the electricity. So the breaker never actually tripped. There was just a nice pool of water inside my surge protector. So after I processed what had just happened and how dangerous it was, it occurred to me that, gee, we're heading to a campground for the weekend, and now I need a surge protector. So I called my husband and explained what happened. I think he thought I was crazy. He actually asked me to snap a picture, and I did. And then I think he realized I knew what I was talking about. So I sent him to the RV dealership where we purchased our trailer, and he FaceTimed me from their store, and he was going around, and when he showed me the Watchdogs, I told him, don't look any further. I don't care. Just grab a Watchdog. Find one that's a 30 amp and grab it. So yes, this thing is obviously more money than the one I originally purchased. But we saw how that went. Not so well. The one that we chose was the Hughes Power Watchdog PWD 30W. It features Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity so that you can monitor your voltage, amperage, and wattage through the Power Watchdog app. And it also will send you alerts when there are any power anomalies so that you can address those things in a timely fashion. It also features a replaceable surge module, which is meant to save some time and money by simply swapping out the surge module after a spike. You don't need to replace the entire surge protector. So less of an expense if that happens. And they also say that it has unmatched weather resistance, built with IP65 water resistant heavy duty construction. This surge protector is designed to keep the water out. And if you're wondering what the IP65 rating is, well, I looked it up because I also wanted to know what it was. And what it means is that an item is fully protected from dust and from low pressure water jets that are coming from any direction. Now, by comparison, I can already tell that the housing is more secure and it offers more protection for the outlet itself. It's in a more contained area. It's also low on the surge protector, where the other one was like on the front of the surge protector. So hopefully Friday the 13th will be the last time I find water in my surge protector. I hope. If you found today's video to be helpful, don't forget to like and please subscribe, guys. I really enjoy doing this. If you like my videos, subscribe. I promise there's going to be more like this. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.